Oh, pretty bright day outside today. Pretty, actually, not even pretty, just very, very sunny day in general. But it's been a good morning so far. I've chilled out, made a good little healthy protein breakfast sandwich, put an English muffin and an egg and some turkey and stuff to get a good breakfast flowing this morning. Got plenty of water, and I've let everything digest before I'm launching into a back and biceps day. Or I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm making it back in biceps because yesterday I hit target muscles, and target muscles I do heavy bench at the end, and so normally I would do like chest. I missed target muscles last week, so I was doing target muscles, and then normally at the beginning of the week I would hit a chest day, but I'm just having it be back in biceps for the sake of like not trying to overdo my chest. I'm not trying to get injured, that's for sure. And I kind of like strained my leg yesterday while I was doing some stuff, so I need some time and some space before my next leg day so I don't like overdo it. I need to stretch a lot more before I do leg days and stuff, which I've definitely learned since then. But yeah, everything's moving pretty well today. Pretty good morning. I got a decent bit of sleep last night, which doesn't normally happen, but I slept in just a little bit today, just until about like 8:30 ish, and then I've got work later tonight, and just kind of trying to manage things. I've been I've just been kind of mostly taking things easy, mostly just trying to like manage workouts and stuff effectively, try to get as much in when I have time and stuff. But I definitely, the next goal of what I need to get accomplished today is start ordering some stuff for school. I need probably a new pair of daily driver shoes that I'm going to be like wearing back and forth to school. I need a few things, like I'm probably going to get a microwave for my room. I need a couple toiletries and stuff that I'm running low on. Just in general, go on a little bit of a chore spree of getting everything accomplished. But you know, with work and stuff, I'm just trying to make as much money as possible in my downtime. But now that I'm getting towards that money, it's going to be weird going back and cutting back into school where it'll just be, you know, fully committed to that classwork, fully committed to getting all that stuff done as much as possible. Then the excess time goes to YouTube and stuff, goes to finishing through some games and stuff I've been playing, which is nice. It's nice to have that assurance to where I can have, like, you know, time to fall back on, and, you know, going and getting everything moved in. You know, these couple of days, I'll probably have a little bit of extra downtime after I get everything, you know, settled into my liking, which will be good. I'll probably have a few grocery trips, probably be catching up with some friends and stuff as I go along, and, you know, it'll be nice seeing some faces that I haven't seen all year, save for the school year, kind of, you know, catch up with some people. But yeah, I don't really have any big thoughts. I don't really have any motivational talks today, so apologies if that's what you were expecting. But I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling content today. Very, very content. Very I don't know, even keeled. It feels weird though, because maybe that's just because it's been a little quieter at the house. It's been a little quieter around town now that school is back in session, like elementary, high school, middle school, all that stuff. Everyone getting back into the normal grind and swing of things. I guess it just makes, I don't know, it makes everyone head down a little bit more, just working hard, and then everyone, you know, takes it easy with each other, because it's not like we're trying to expend energy for the summer. At least, you know, that's with family and other people and stuff like that. Like, me and my family, we're all pretty tired as we're going into these longer days that we're not exactly used to. So there's been like less fighting and stuff, I guess, less little tiffs and taffs, which, you know, I don't know your living situation, obviously, but I feel like that tends to happen. Is there's a little bit of tension towards the end of the summer as everyone is kind of like built up and with each other, you know, so much that all this stuff kind of like, you know, caves in on itself, and there's just like a bunch of not infighting, but there's just a bunch of tension that needs to be released by seeing friends, by getting back into classes, by getting back into, you know, heavy work shifts and stuff like that. Sometimes the balance is very necessary, and I don't know, yeah, even the balance, like the balance of going to the gym and stuff every day. Not everyone's going to be on that grind, going to the gym and stuff every day. But once school starts, people might give it a second look. People might give it another chance because it's like, oh, well, I'm already doing this anyways. I might as well get back into the swing of things. So, yeah, it's been very quiet around my hometown, just off and on. And so kind of preparing for that noise, getting well equipped for, the hustle and bustle of college life. It's interesting. Going in second year where, like, first year, it's very scary. You have no idea what's going on, and there's so much stuff clouding your head before you go, and there's so much preparation. This year, it's just like, it's another drive back up to the college town. It's another preparation. You're obviously getting your room ready for the year, but that's the only main concern. But I still haven't done that yet. I'm still kind of procrastinating, but we'll get it done. I'm going to go in, hit a good lift, and then I'll let you know how it went. Well, I feel like it's been a good long time since I've had a proper pump expose, since I've had a proper time where I've really laid out my physique in full. And in short, I feel like what's been going on with my physique over the summer has kind of been not a battle. It's been a journey, that's for sure. I feel like with my physique, at the top of my cut, I was very, very locked in, and I had a full set of abs, and I had full muscle fibers showing, and I was very proud. But I was so focused on weight. Weight was the only thing I was focused on, was just making weight, was just working to see and prove to myself that I could make this cut, that I could watch my weight, that I could watch what I eat, that I could get enough nutrients, and that I could lift good. And the gains that I had during that period were insane because I was eating so clean, because I was getting the right nutrients. I was so dialed on everything and so focused and committed to this one goal that I sacrificed other things. But I really made it happen, and I really proved to myself that I'm able to do that. And so now, once that got out of the way, I was like, okay, fine. I get to chill for a while. I get to lay off, and I remember first night after my cut, that night I did the weigh-in, I did the filming, I did everything, I posed down, everything. My roommate was on a little trip during the weekend, and it was just me alone, and I was just like shocked. I put the footage into my laptop, and I was like, I'm going to edit this another day, but I was just so content. And I went straight to the cafeteria, and I had 2 full plates of chicken nuggets and fries. I touched no fried foods for like 4 months. I had maybe a touch when I first got to college, but I never touched them since then. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I got a soft serve ice cream with M&Ms in it, and I was like nothing tasted better in that moment. And one of my buddies came up to me, and he was like, hey, how you doing, Miles? And I was like, bro, this is like, I don't know if I knew how to felt. I was just like, I felt content. I felt the dopamine of the good tasting feelings. But I was like, this was so much work, and it feels good, but like, what does that leave me with? How do I move on from here? How do I move on from this big journey? Like, I didn't know where to go next with that. And so next, I kind of was just like, well, let me reach maintenance. Let me just work on kind of sustaining this and building up muscle. And that's what I did. I built myself back up to kind of like 160. It wasn't pure muscle. It was probably like a pound and a half of fat, but a few good extra bits of muscle and stuff. It wasn't as, good as cutting and bulking as I did before, but I didn't want to be cutting and bulking. I didn't want to be focused on that. And so I kind of stopped training abs as much, but I kept my cardio up. I kept all this stuff up. And then summer hit, and I was like, okay, summer, I have a real chance to kind of like cut down even more. And I kind of, debated and tossed in my head back and forth about maybe starting a cut. And then I kind of reached this stage of just staying stagnant. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. I didn't have a goal, and I didn't really want to be like pursuing that. And then I got busy with work and all this stuff, and I just let excuses pile up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be committed to this. So I'm not going to go in with a crazy goal. And I haven't let myself go this summer. I'm still pumped up. I'm still looking good. I'm still happy with my physique. But what I've gained is like a little bit of love handleness compared to what I was at before. So as I take off this pump cover, I'll break it down. So, just kind of in basic lighting, how my physique is looking now is I've packed on so much more serious pounds of muscles. You can see individual like shoulders and stuff. I've been primarily working on shoulders. I've been working on chest, and my chest has developed so much to where it's like gotten way wider, and I have like much bigger bicep peaks and stuff, and things are looking really good. My trap development is just, I haven't been so super prioritizing it as I was before, kind of towards the end of the semester, but like everything's looking good. And my legs are huge. I'm not gonna like do a leg cover or whatever, but like things have been looking good for my physique. But I kind of stopped training abs and obliques, and I kind of stopped worrying about the abs. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna eat not a bulk, but I'm going to eat mom's cooking. I'm going to enjoy summer food. I'm not going to be worrying about stuff. And so, yes, that means ice cream. Yes, that means fried food. Yes, that means, like eating within reason. And I haven't been tracking any calories, which I've thought about going to tracking calories. And I don't know if I'm going to do that yet because, calorie counters, they are subscriptions and they cost money and stuff. And I'm not trying to spend a bunch of money just to count calories when I haven't been doing that. But if I wanted to be optimal, that's what I would do, because what I've missed out on is I haven't been training abs as much. I have an ab wheeler back there, and I haven't been doing my ab wheel. I haven't been doing like stuff that I was during the semester, and I haven't been training obliques at all. So like you can still see the outline of stuff, and when I like suck in and flex, you can still like see, you can feel the muscles and stuff under it of like core. But because I'm not eating completely right, and because I'm not training it, they've kind of, gotten a little bit flabbier. And then this is what, my body dysmorphia hurts the most. It's just this little triangle cutout right here, this little piece of like the love handles that you can grab onto. That was not present during the cut. During the cut, I completely eliminated those. And I remember at the start of my freshman year, I took pictures, and my love handles were like way like kind of like blown out to the side here. And obviously this was a little bit bigger, but they were like blown out pretty far. And you can't target fat loss in those areas. You have to target fat loss all over to get rid of this. And so now that I have this, I'm like, okay, well, how do I improve? How do I evolve? How do I go from here? And so I think I'm just going to get back on that program of like really dialing in everything I have once I get back to college. At college, I had so much more vegetables because the cafeteria just has everything on tap. Protein was more available. It was easier to go and get things and, be locked into something while you're doing classwork and stuff. It's easier. I have little acne spots around, my face. I have stuff around my chest. I have all these different things that, like, from a bodybuilding perspective, from a self-care perspective, from a trying to get better mentally and physically, the mantra of my channel, I'm not going to be a pillar for that. And I'm not going to say that you have to be a pillar. That's not really what we're trying to preach here. We're not trying to preach perfection with every movement. We're trying to preach, yeah, you're going to have a couple months where, like, you just got to focus on, like, enjoying stuff. And you got to focus on being, like, not so serious all the time. Because you're not going to, like, rise and grind out of those ashes, and you're not going to have stories to tell if you don't give yourself, like, a roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster. You have to ebb and flow, and you have to adapt to things. And that means, your body dysmorphia is going to tell you these things don't need to be there, but you don't have to listen. Like, I am not displeased with my physique. I'm very, very happy with it. But I'm not going to go out and strike a pose and be like broadcasting and stuff every day. I'm just going to have, that normal progress. Like society, social media, all these things tell us that, like, we need to be looking great all of the time, and we need to be dialed and locked all the time. But that's just simply not true, especially from the standpoint of, like, being a college student, being so young. Any of my college student viewers, you will understand that it's not that simple. Like, when you have active stuff in your daily life, especially when you're, like, studying and really working hard towards, like, a goal while others have already reached that goal of, like, having a job and having, more of a secured family setup, more of a secure, like, money setup where they know they can feed themselves. Like, when you're trying to get after it and sustain yourself, it's not always going to be linear. It's not always going to be straightforward. And so kind of what I want to bring up today is, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I don't think I'm perfect by any means, but I'm very, very happy with that imperfection. I'm very, very happy knowing that I have room left to grow. So yeah, that's the main, lift today. Physique is pumped up. Biceps are obviously pumped up and stuff. Other body parts are pumped up, but, like, things are going to be imperfect, but I'm very happy with the progress I'm making, and I just want to keep moving heavyweight and keep making smiles for people and keep growing as a person. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.